The vastness of space was home to many civilizations, each with its own unique strengths, technologies, and philosophies. The Galactic Concord, a coalition of the most advanced species in the universe, prided itself on its ability to assess and categorize every known race. They had conquered or assimilated countless planets, their fleets moving like unstoppable forces through the void. Then they met humanity. At first, humans were nothing more than another species to classify. They were an anomaly, an upstart civilization that had clawed its way out of its own planet's gravity while using primitive chemical rockets before advancing to fusion-powered vessels. Their ships were not as sleek as the Carry. They lacked the organic technology of the VAR. They did not have the psionic capabilities of the Eldrin. Yet, there was something about human warships that disturbed the Concord analysts. The first encounter was with the hegemony of Trinax, a species known for its meticulous data collection. Their intelligence arm had always boasted of its ability to scan any ship, no matter how well shielded. When they encountered the first Terran warship, the TNS Dauntless, they immediately activated their deep space scanners. What they found changed everything. The ship's exterior was standard enough, composed of advanced alloys and shielded against most known forms of attack. But when the scanners attempted to penetrate deeper, they encountered something unprecedented. The data coming back was wrong. The readings fluctuated wildly. The ship's core registered as a fusion reactor one moment, an antimatter drive the next. The weapon systems seemed to phase in and out of known classifications. More disturbingly, certain sections of the ship were black holes of information, as if the scanner's signals were being devoured. Then the Trinax scanners shut down entirely. The researchers monitoring the scans screamed in agony as their implants overloaded. Some suffered immediate neural failure, collapsing at their stations. Others clawed at their own faces, muttering incoherently about whispers in the code. IT took weeks to restore the Trinax systems, and they issued an unprecedented order. No Trinax vessel under any circumstances was to attempt scanning a human warship ever again. The Concord dismissed this as an anomaly until it happened again and again. The Salari, a race known for their organic computers, attempted to decipher what was happening inside a Terran dreadnought. Their scanning tendrils, living organisms themselves, shriveled and died upon contact with the ship's energy signature. The Eldrin, whose psychic abilities could normally read the thoughts of entire planets, sent their most gifted minds to probe a human battle cruiser. They came back shattered, their minds reduced to gibbering wrecks, muttering about the screaming void inside the ship. Even the Zari, who could predict the future with near-perfect accuracy, found that whenever they attempted to foresee the outcome of a battle involving human warships, their visions turned to static. The final straw came when the Galactic Concord's ruling council attempted to force a full-scale analysis. They sent a combined fleet equipped with the most advanced scanning arrays to surround a single human battleship, the TNS Harbinger. None of those ships ever returned. Just gone. After that, the Concord made an official decree. No species, no matter how advanced, shall ever attempt to scan a Terran warship again, because whatever was inside those ships was not meant to be understood. Some theorized that humanity had developed a form of quantum encryption so advanced that it scrambled the perception of those who attempted to decipher it. Others believed the ships were shielded by exotic matter that defied known physics. But the most unsettling theory came from the Eldrin, who claimed that human warships were not just machines. They were aware. The VAR, daring and reckless warriors, decided they would uncover the truth. They gathered a massive fleet and launched an assault on a Terran stronghold, targeting the lone TNS Oblivion. By all logic, they should have won easily, outnumbering it 100-1. But the moment they engaged, something went terribly wrong. The Oblivion moved with unnatural fluidity, dodging barges before they were fired. The VAR's targeting systems malfunctioned, locking onto empty space or their own allies. Communications broke down as commanders heard their own voices distorted, some whispering run. Then the screaming started from their own crews, soldiers, pilots, tacticians collapsing, clutching their heads with no visible attack. One captain managed to send a final message before his ship was destroyed. "The ship is looking at me." When the battle ended, only the oblivion remained. Noriki, Nodebri. The Var, once the most feared conquerors, refused to ever speak of the battle again. The Zelnari, an ancient and arrogant species that considered themselves the pinnacle of intelligence, dispatched an ultra-advanced research vessel to scan the TNS Eclipse from a distance. Their technology operated outside normal dimensions of perception, yet the moment their scanners activated, the Eclipse turned to face them directly. The lead scientist felt an instinct his advanced species had not experienced in millennia: dread. Their ship's systems began failing one by one. The scientist experienced visions of an infinite void filled with whispering voices and shifting eyes that told him, "Do not look." He awoke to find his entire crew dead, their eyes open in silent screams. The incident with the Zelnari sent shock waves through the Galactic Concord. If beings who had mastered space and time could not comprehend what lay inside a human warship, perhaps the truth was never meant to be uncovered. The Dlik, a species of archivists seeking only to understand, made one final attempt. They shadowed a Terran fleet without scanning directly, only recording movements and energy outputs. When the TNS Omen suddenly stopped and seemed to notice them, curiosity overwhelmed caution. They performed one passive scan. Every screen went dark. The ship shook violently as if grabbed by an unseen force. The crew heard voices in their minds. Not words, but memories of a war that stretched across stars, rage that turned worlds to ash, and shadows not cast by light. A vast, ancient voice delivered a single message: "You were warned." The Seeker's gift was later found drifting, its crew alive but forever changed. The captain never spoke again, his mind hollowed out. The Dlik sealed the records and joined the rest of the galaxy in silent agreement. The Cesari, a species of smugglers and data thieves, set an elaborate trap to scan a human warship and sell the information. They lured the TNS Revenant to a fake distress signal. When they scanned it, their instruments showed nothing. No heat signatures, no energy output. As if the ship simply wasn't there, Creel, the operations commander, realized with horror that the Revenant had allowed itself to be scanned. As their ship's systems failed, Creel experienced visions of a battlefield, a burned world, and the terrible truth: Terran warships were not machines. They were graves, and something inside had never stopped screaming. The Revenant appeared inside their ship. Crew members' eyes turned black as their bodies locked in place. The data transmission completed before everything vanished. No ship, no Cesari, only silence. The secret that had been disturbed was humanity's forgotten war, not against another empire, but against something else. The humans had fought alone and survived, but the truth was worse than anyone imagined. Their warships were not weapons, but prisons, sealing away something nameless. Years later, a lone researcher named Vaya followed coordinates from the Cesari's final transmission to a sector unmarked on any chart. There she found not a warship, but a massive dreadnought unlike any seen before. It was not built by humans, but from them. Its walls lined with something organic, its framework pulsing as if breathing. As her scanners activated, a voice whispered in her mind, "You have seen too much." Vaya glimpsed the terrible truth. Humanity had not survived their war. They had buried it, locked whatever horror they faced inside these vessels of metal and flesh. Vaya barely escaped as her ship was consumed not by weapons but by something formless. From her escape pod, she sent a simple 3-word message before disappearing: "It is awake." Human warships converged on the coordinates as the galaxy realized the terrible truth. They had never been warships at all. They had been prison guards, and now their prisoners were stirring. If you had the chance to scan a Terran warship, would you? Or would you look away? Drop your theory about what's really inside them. Don't forget to like and subscribe.